here. Okay. Cool. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We're going to start with a little nigun. Nigun is a melody without words, so just got to be able to say, in this case, heya, 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 heya. Can you do that? What do we think? Here we go.
Heya, 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 ho. Heya, 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 ho. Heya, 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 hey. Heya, 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 ho. Heya, 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 ho. Heya, 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 hey. Heya, 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 ho. Heya, 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 ho. Heya, 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 ho. Heya, 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 ho. On your song sheets, Adama, Vishamayim,
Vishamayim,
Chom
Chae,
Sil Chamayim,
Sil Hamayim,
Ani margish Sod begufi, Beruchi venishmati. Heya, 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 ho. Heya, 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 ho. Heya, 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 hey. Heya, 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 hey. Adama v'shamayim, Chom Chae, Sil Chamayim. Ani margish Sod begufi, Beruchi venishmati. Last time. Heya, 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 ho. Heya, 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 ho. Heya, 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 hey.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Temple Kolmi. We're outside in this beautiful, beautiful summer evening. And welcome to all of our online community that's joining us as well for this service. We're so glad that you're here with us. We are here to celebrate Green Shabbat with our community. We enjoy in this moment a reflection on how lucky we are to live in such a beautiful place, how lucky we are to enjoy this beautiful nature that surrounds us, and how it is our responsibility to care for the earth and to continue to preserve these treasures so that they're here for future generations. And Shabbat in general, it evokes the idea of creation, and that each week we go through day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6, counting always towards Shabbat and always looking in to bring in that light of creation. And so we're going to welcome some members of our temple who have been helping to light our way. We're going to welcome members of our social action committee and green team to come up and help us with kindling our Shabbat candles. All of you.
Come on down.
Just this one. Are you having trouble hearing?
No, I just wanted to make sure if it was supposed to be on.
Because I've been called aloud now.
I'll strike the match, why not?
Okay.
I got it.
That's on camera. Thank you. Thank you very much. You're my next pick. Oh, it's on the bottom. That's where the problem came in.
Oh, you did it on the first try.
When is this?
Yichanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Amen. Amen. We wish you strength, yishkoach to you. And we're going to take a moment here as we welcome Shabbat with light to say Shabbat Shalom to one another. I truly enjoy also on our stream. If you want to put a Shabbat Shalom in the chat box, I go and I read them all later, and it's so good to see all of you there. Take a moment to say hi to the people around your table. Give them a friendly smile. Wish them Shalom, a peaceful, a restful, a blessed Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Shabbat Shalom. We continue page 24 in our books. Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei
Hasharim, Malachei Elyon,
Melech Malachei HaMalachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei HaMalachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bochuni l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei HaMalachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Setchem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Malachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Having greeted each other, we welcome in the spirit of Shabbat, Shvut Shabbat, to enrich us and bring us that joy, that sense of completion. We continue Boi Kala.
Boi Kala,
Boi Kala, Boi Kala, Boi Kala. Boi Kala, Boi Kala, Boi Kala, Boi Kala. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Penei Shabbat Nikabela. Boi Kala, Boi Kala, Boi Kala, Boi Kala. Boi Kala, Boi Kala, Boi Kala, Boi Kala. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Penei Shabbat Nikabela. Boi Kala, Boi Kala, Boi Kala, Boi Kala. Boi Kala, Boi Kala, Boi Kala, Boi Kala. Boi Kala. It's a wet week this week. There's a lot of rain. There's a lot of moisture in the air. And that rain, that movement, it's a reminder of God's presence. We listen for the voices in the rain. The psalmists declare that those voices, they cry out, Adirim mishperei yam, breakers on the waves. Page 23, Mikolot Maim.
Mikolot Maim Rabim, Adirim Mishperei Yam.
Mikolot Mayim Rabim Adirim Mishperei Yam Adirim Barom Adonai Adir Bamarom Adonai Adir Bamarom Adonai Adir Bamarom Adonai Mikolot Mayim Rabim Adirim Mishperei Yam Mikolot Mayim Rabim Adirim Mishperei Yam Adir Bamarom Adonai Adir Bamarom Adonai Adir Bamarom Adonai Adir Bamarom Adonai. The Chatzi Kaddish, page 26.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה
Amen.
בעלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל בהגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו
Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabba Mevorach Leolam Ulo Mehamaya Yibarach.
יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה
Berichu.
לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה
Tushbechata v'nechemata dahamiran ve'amha
ואמרו אמן.
We rise in body or in spirit as we turn to our green sheets with our call to worship to be followed by Roll into Dark. Hamevorach le'olam va'ed. Hamevorach le'olam
Roll into
dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, golel or mipnei choshech, vechoshech mipnei yom.
roll into
Roll into dark. Night becomes day, turns to night.
Roll into
dark.
Night becomes
Night becomes day, turns to night. Borei day. Day turns to night.
Roll into dark. Roll into light. Night becomes day. Day turns to night. Roll into dark. Night becomes day.
Day turns to night. Baruch atah Adonai hamariv aravim. We continue responsively on page 33. Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol. All these things your Torah gives to us. And the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives. What could be a truer token of your abiding love than this holiest of your works in the living language that gives it form? Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
You may be seated.
Ve'ata et Adonai Elohecha bechol levacha u'bechol nafshecha u'bechol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shirantam levanecha v'dibarta b'ham V'shivtecha b'meitecha, u'vlechtecha b'derech, u'shochbecha u'kumecha, u'kshartam le'ot al yadecha, v'hayu l'totafot b'neinecha, u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'v'hisharecha. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם
Adonai Elohechem Emet. The next prayer in our Siddur is a prayer for redemption. A prayer that comes as a promise that our world is headed in an upward trajectory, that we have together the opportunity to build and fix and heal that which we find that is broken about us. And it calls us to remember once again those miracles that were performed for our ancestors, those miracles that brought them liberation from slavery and to a land, a place to care for and have as their own. And we need God with us. We need those miracles to sustain us now, but we need also the everyday miracles, the miracles of being able to extend a loving hand, the miracles of being able to give fresh water and sunlight and soil to a tree, the miracles of being able to fix and repair all that is broken in our world. And when we do, let us hope that on that day, all of us, just as our ancestors, Moses, Miriam, and all Israel declared, we too shall declare, Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, who is like you among the gods.
Who is like you, Adonai? Who is like you, Adonai? Ya la la la, ya la 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 la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו יד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
We ask for God to extend a canopy of peace. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Spread over us your sukkah of shalom, your shelter of peace. Guard us, protect us from all harm. The middle of page 42, third line.
Ufros aleinu sukat shalomecha ufros aleinu sukat shalomecha ufros aleinu sukat
Together at the top of page 43. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. Baruch ata Adonai, hapores sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. We are about to enter into the Amidah, the central prayer of the evening service. We will be praying together in our books, beginning on page 46 through page 52, and then we'll continue each in our own way to complete the Amidah through page 63. Once you have finished your prayer, or when you're ready to, you can have a seat and continue just quietly enjoying a moment until we catch up with you, and if not, don't worry, we'll not leave you behind either. Right now, though, we are on page 46, and we rise for Adonai Sifatai Tivtach.
Adonai Sifatai Tivtach Ufi Yagi Tehilatecha Adonai Sifatai Tivtach Ufi Yagi Tehilatecha Adonai, open up my lips as I begin to pray. Adonai, open up my lips as I begin to pray. Adonai, Sifatai Tivtach Ufi Yagi Tehilatecha Adonai, Sifatai Tivtach Ufi Yagi Tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon,
Gomel chasadim tovim, v'koneh hakol, v'zocher chasei avot v'imahot, u'mevi gula livnei b'neihem, v'man shemo be'ahava, melech ozer u'moshiach u'magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Abraham be'ezrat Sarah, Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, mechayeh hakol atah Rab le'hoshia, morid hatav, mechalkel chayim bechesed, mechayeh hakol berachamim rabim, somech noflim verofech olim, umatir asurim, umekayem emunato lishenei afar, michamocha bal gevurot, umido melech, melech memit umechayeh, umatzmiach Yeshua, v'ne'eman atah l'chayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh shemcha kadosh, ukroshim b'chol yom yahaluch hasela. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, Adonai, my rock and my redeemer. As we're outside enjoying some beautiful weather, this beautiful moment together here for our congregation, how well we are aware that there are those that are suffering in our world, those who we know personally and those we don't. Perhaps even some of us that are here with us tonight that are hoping for and thinking of healing either for themselves or someone that they love and care about. And so as we do each time we gather for prayer, we offer a special prayer for healing, a Misha Baruch prayer, in the awareness of how much healing is needed around us and throughout our world. If there's anyone who'd like to share the name of a specific individual that you're thinking of for healing, I welcome you to do so at this time, and we'll take all of those names into our hearts. For Rob. Elisa, Sue, Julie, and Riley. Fran, Jeff, and Mark. Menachem and Phyllis. For Anne. For Valerie Navarro, Carlos Merritt, Anne, and Susan Merritt. For Fred. Nina, Lynette, and Larry. For Alexa. For Terry Gelbart. Lauren Edelman. Joe Adam Shelley. For Joyce. For Julian. For Alan and for Joe. Ellen and for Joe. For all those mentioned, the many more that go unmentioned, we pray for refuah shlema, full, complete healing of body, of mind, and spirit. And on your green sheets, you can actually find the first words of Misha Berach for our people. Elna Rafana La. Oh, please, God, heal her.
Anna, Elna. Try that. Anna, Elna, Refanala, Refanala, Anna, Elna,
Well, Shabbat Shalom again, everyone. Delightful to be with you. Always something good to look forward to at the end of the week to be together. And you know, as we were having this moment to discuss Green Shabbat, a community-wide program that we've joined together with Chazon, the Jewish Lab for Sustainability, an organization that Temple Kol Ami is very committed to and involved in. This was a moment for us to be able to come together and reflect on how we could find ways within our community to be able to observe sustainable practices, to be able to grow and strengthen our commitment to being, as it says in Bereshit, in the book of creation, Shomrei Adamah, protectors of the earth, and taking that, you know, I think that there is a imperative here that, as much as I can hopefully give an inspiring sermon, I don't know about everyone being inspiring, but every once in a while I hit the mark. It is not something that can be done with a sermon or with one program or with one statement to be able to do all of the necessary work that goes into protecting our planet, that goes into protecting our environments and our ecosystem, that goes into thinking about the impact that each of us has on our planet. And so I wanted to instead turn this into a little bit of a discussion and do things in a slightly different way tonight. And so what I have prepared for you here on your white sheets are 4 texts for tonight. 2 of them come from this week's Torah portion, and 2 of them are based on contents in this week's Torah portion. And so we have a second microphone over here, which we're not having a sound trouble with that one. They can't hear me? Okay, I'll hold this one too. All right, so how's that? Now you can hear me? Raise your hand if you can't hear me. No one's raising their hand. Oh, there we go. So we have a second microphone here, and I'm going to see, do we have an usher or someone who can help maybe here with this? So this second microphone, I know that the way sound waves work, we can all hear each other here, but we want to make sure that we include as much as possible our online community in this new multi-access world that we're in. So you can turn around and wave to the camera right back here. Say, hi Facebook, hi YouTube. They're right there. So I want to make sure that we have the opportunity here as we're discussing this, that anyone who would raise your hand, let us know, and Barb will get the microphone to you so that you're able to share your comment. The first text we're looking at, that it's at the top of our sheets here that have been distributed, comes from the very beginning of our weekly portion. It's actually the third verse of our portion, which, by the way, is called Shoftim, which means judges. Judges are somehow involved in justice. And we stumble across this notable verse. Actually, if you were in our chapel right now, you would see this verse on the wall. Tzedek, tzedek, tirdof. Justice, justice shall you pursue, that you may thrive and occupy the land that the eternal your God is giving you. And this is a very justice pursuing community here. And I'm wondering, does anyone have a thought? What is this verse telling us? What does justice mean in this context? Justice, justice shall you pursue. And more than that, why twice? Why do we have justice twice? Does anyone have an idea? There's lots of answers here. Deb, or Donna, we're going to get the mic to Donna here.
The biggest thing is that we're supposed to pursue justice
It's on. It's on.
for everyone.
We're supposed to pursue justice for everyone. I love it. Julian's going to take it next here.
I think the repetition of the word justice is like a stop sign. Stop, and then say justice again. So forcing us to stop and really reflect what does it entail, what should we be thinking, what should we be doing, what's happening around us, and then act upon that.
I love it. A point of emphasis to catch our attention and make us stop and think about it. Love it.
What I was going to say is it's repeated because that's how important it is.
Love it. I love it. Any others? What about the second question here on our sheets? Is it significant here that the commandment to pursue justice is connected with the ability of residing in Israel here? Actually, they're talking about Israel, the land that the eternal your God is giving to you here in this verse. We have justice here. We're talking about a green Shabbat, a sustainable Shabbat, and it's connecting it directly to the verse. Any thoughts about that? Over here?
You know, in order to thrive in the land, not just to live in the land, to thrive in the land. So that's the imperative. That everyone has the. If you look at the word tzedakah, which we take as charity, it's really comes from justice.
Exactly, tzedakah
so
too.
that's really what the connection of how you allow everyone to get the benefit out of the land.
Beautiful, beautiful. Shkoch. Any other thoughts? You're doing great, Barb. You're doing great. You're doing great. Yeah, she's getting
having the land, possessing the land, also brings responsibility toward the land.
I love that. And there's consequences if we don't follow those responsibilities as well. Deuteronomy is pretty clear about that. All the way over here, Miriam's got a comment.
I also wonder if, now that we were no longer slaves and we have our own land, if they're trying to say, don't be like you were treated. Justice is important. Learn from your history, and then you will thrive as a people in the land.
Oh, I love that. our personal experience informs us about what is just and what is not just. Sure. Service is going to go really long here if we don't move on. Let's keep moving. We'll go to the second text that comes from this week's portion. It's a little bit further on, a few chapters further. This is Deuteronomy chapter 20, and we are in, by the way, this is a section called Sefer Melachot. It's the Book of War that we're getting into, which will go on this portion, and next portion will have even more from the Book of War, which gives laws and rules for how we're to engage in battle. And here, this one is really going to be a launch pad for a really important ecological principle that we have to this day. It says here, I'm going to read it so that everyone online can hear it. When in your war against a city you have to besiege it a long time in order to capture it, you must not destroy its trees, wielding an axe against them. You may eat of them, but you must not cut them down. Are trees of the field human to withdraw before you into the besieged city? Only trees that you know do not yield food may be destroyed. You may cut them down for constructing siege works against the city that is waging war on you until it has been reduced. So here, why do we think that specifically the Torah in this context is talking about warfare, and that it's actually in a context of warfare that we get this principle that we're supposed to be protecting trees? We all love trees, right? Everyone here loves trees. We're supposed to be protecting trees, but it comes from warfare. What? Any thoughts about that? It's a mystery to me. Maybe someone can enlighten me. Ian, perfect. Ian's got an answer.
I don't know about an answer, but it specifying about a long time for siege. I think it's to deter military officers from going towards a scorched earth total war practice, which would include cutting off food supply. It's sort of saying that even though you are at war, one should remember that it's still important to preserve these life-giving plants, this part of nature that provides food, even if the temptation is there to destroy that for the purposes of the immediate war. To, I think long-term about why is this war being fought, and to not sort of sacrifice a long-term benefit for short-term gain.
Beautiful. Emily.
I think the other thing that's two other things that are interesting about it is it says, go ahead and cut down the trees that don't bear fruit, but only as much as you need to defend yourself and keep this up. And that's sort of the same, don't do the scorched earth type of thing. But the other thing it says is that the trees can't decide to give in. The trees, they say they aren't human. They can't surrender and say we give up. They are defenseless. And so you have to respect the fact that they have no choice in the matter. The humans could say we give up at some point. And so it's that same sort of thing of, even if you are the waging war, remember your humanity and the humanity of the people that you are going against, and do just as much and not any more than you need to do.
Beautiful. I love that. So anything that you're taking has to go with a purpose. It can be used for constructing these siege works. You can take the fruit from the trees, but you're not to destroy it. That we have a responsibility. And I love how eloquently you put it, that these trees, it's not like they can defend themselves. We're therefore responsible for them. We have more power in the situation. Any other thoughts about this? Back to Alan.
The trees are God's creation. You know, the cities you destroy, that's man's creation, and you're conquering. But the trees are God's creation.
Very interesting. Right, so that's that idea that when you go to war, Donna said they also sustain life for us. When you go to war, you know, we have to remember, what is it that we're fighting about? Are we fighting with vindictiveness? Are we trying to take all value off the table, or are we fighting for another purpose? If it's vindictiveness, that doesn't really sound like justice or speak about justice. We go back to the first text and where we began the portion, and I just lost this here. There we go. Now we got power again. All right, should we flip to the back side? You know, the bottom text that we were just looking at, you're going to see on the back side, gives birth to this whole other principle, one that we refer to in our tradition as bal tashchit, that you are not to waste or you are not to destroy. And this first text comes from the Talmud, comes from Masechet Kiddushin, and what we see here, it says, going back to the idea of wantonly destroying things that don't need to be destroyed, whoever breaks vessels or tears garments or destroys a building or clogs a well or does away with food in a destructive manner violates the negative mitzvah of bal tashchit, do not waste or destroy. How many folks here have heard of this principle before, bal tashchit, as a Jewish principle? There's some here. It's a good thing to add to our vocabulary. Bal tashchit, do not destroy. And you know, it's striking here about how absolute this is. Notice we've gone from a situation of war, and we've extended into a much larger scope, a much larger context. So the first question on our sheet here, if anyone is thinking about this, do you think that it's possible to not ever waste or destroy anything? Is that a possibility? I see Miriam shaking her head. Anyone care to give a rationale or reason why you think that it's not possible? You have children. Lauren says, I have children. Yeah, that can cause you on occasion to want to destroy something. That- Hang on.
Sorry. It seems to me that instead of thinking about the only way to go about not wasting or destroying is to be very mindful about what you choose to use in the first place. So it goes back to the stuff on the first page, which is only do as much or only take as much as you're going to need. And if you can do that, then you can get closer to the we don't have to waste, we don't have to destroy. So, you know, it's like don't be gluttonous, don't collect for the purpose of collecting, but be mindful of what it is that you acquire and use so that you can avoid waste.
So I'm going to keep the microphone just with you because that's exactly the sort of idea behind the second question. I don't know if you noticed this, Emily, on the sheet. It's asking, where do we draw the line between wasteful behavior and something being useful? How do we make that distinction? Where would you draw the line?
There would be two parts of that, because sometimes is it wasteful if you're doing something that you enjoy, you know. So I light a firework because I enjoy it and I get pleasure out of that and it helps me enjoy it. Is that wasteful? Because the whole purpose of that thing is to destroy it. I don't know. It would seem to me it's not wasteful, but being not mindful about what you choose to acquire, to me, is wasteful.
Okay. Miriam?
I was just thinking, though, when you read the whole paragraph and I look at the questions, I think it goes back to me, the principle is don't permanently destroy something for no reason. Why would you clog a well that would help many people? Why? Here, to me, the don't destroy, it might not be on a personal level. Oh, I threw an extra piece of paper away. I should have kept that paper. But I think this is more for society. What you do affects everybody. So if you clog the well, nobody gets water. You might, and if you destroy the building, nobody has shelter. So I think we have to look beyond ourselves to see how does what I do affect my community. And I think that's how we just, maybe that's the line, is this go beyond me? Is my action going to cause a ripple effect to somebody else, I think.
So if we're only acting out of our own desire and not being aware of how that impacts others, then we're not doing justice. I love it. It's brilliant.
I think also the notion of not being wasteful goes back to the idea of having to besiege a city a long time in order to capture it, because until you fully understand what that region needs or what it produces, you can't really understand it to know how much you can take from it for your own purposes.
That's a lovely addition here, that we have to be thoughtful and take our time, and understanding takes time, for sure. We have one more text here. Should we move on to one more text? This is Sefer HaChinuch, and then we'll get back to our service in a moment. A 13th century Spanish text here, and we read, "The purpose of this mitzvah, not to destroy, Baal Tashchit, is to teach us to love that which is good and worthwhile and to cling to it, so that good becomes a part of us, and we will avoid all that is evil and destructive. That nothing, not even a grain of mustard, a little itty bitty grain of mustard, tiny, 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 should be lost to the world. That they should regret any loss of destruction that they see. And if possible, they will prevent any destruction that they can. Not so are the wicked, who are like demons, who rejoice in destruction of the world. They are destroying," and this is the surprise here, "themselves." They are destroying themselves. Steve's got a thought here, back in the back here, Barb. Thank you.
This sounds exactly like what we're doing with climate change.
It makes me think about how we treat the world that sustains us. And too many think that as long as it's there, we can use it without thinking about the fact that it's finite, not infinite, and what would happen when there isn't any left.
Take a couple more thoughts before we move on. Anyone else? All right, maybe we're ready here. And thank you,
There's always
Barb.
a song for everything. And for this Shabbat specifically, and for this congregation, doing this work of Tikkun Olam, there's this amazing song by my friend Sheldon Lowe, and it's on your song sheets. I'm gonna fix the world, Tikkun Olam. I'm gonna fix the world, Tikkun Olam. I'm gonna fix the world, Tikkun Olam. Together it won't take long. Let's do Tikkun Olam, yeah. Let's do Tikkun Olam. I'll be the one to start the repair. Think and act green, but don't just stop there. Reduce, reuse, recycle. Keep Mother Earth clean, so we'll sing. I just wanna be green. I just wanna be green. I'm gonna fix the world, Tikkun Olam. I'm gonna fix the world, Tikkun Olam. I'm gonna fix the world, Tikkun Olam. Together it won't take long. Let's do Tikkun Olam. Yeah, let's do Tikkun Olam. I'll be the one to start the repair. Bring people hand in hand. For peace we can share. When people come together, it's the perfect harmony. So we'll sing, make peace, make peace. I'm gonna fix the world, Tikkun Olam. I'm gonna fix the world, Tikkun Olam. I'm gonna fix the world, Tikkun Olam. Together it won't take long. Let's do Tikkun Olam, yeah. Let's do Tikkun Olam.
There is one for everything, isn't there? Here. Since Torah, I love it. I just love to soak up the words here. A little bit more teaching, just a little bit more, if you'll indulge me. Open your books to page 282 as we're talking about Tikkun Olam. I want everyone to have a look here. We are in the middle of the Aleinu prayer. The Aleinu, a prayer that speaks about the promise of redemption, that we can join together, and it won't take long if we do. And I want you to see that line right there, here, third from the bottom. Litakein olam b'malchut Shaddai, bringing us that idea that we can repair our world, the dominion of the Holy One, giving us that idea that we can go around and repair and find the things that are broken, that if it is possible for it to be broken, as Nachman of Bratslav says, then it is possible to fix. And with that prayer and with that thought, I'd like to ask all of us to rise, please, as we continue into the Aleinu, page 282.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'ateit gedula leotzer b'reishit, shelo asanu kegoyei haratzot, velo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, v'gohor aleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, lifnei melech malchei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu. Shehu notei shamayim ve'yoser haaretz, u'moshav yikaro b'shamayim ima'al, u'shchinatu zo, be'gov he'meromim, hu Eloheinu einod, emet malkeinu efezulato, kakatu b'torato, v'yadatayom ve'ashevota elevavecha, ki Adonai hu Elohim, b'shamayim imahal, ve'al haaretz mitachat ein od. Together at the top of page 287. May we gain wisdom in our lives, overflowing like a river with understanding. Love each of us for the peace we bring to others. May our deeds exceed our speech, and may we never lift up our hand, but to conquer fear and doubt and despair. Rise up like the sun, O God, over all humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas, and light up the universe with the joy of wholeness, of freedom, and of peace. V'nemar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz, bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo echad. You may be seated. As the sun begins to sink before we conclude our service, we draw near this moment when we think of all of our loved ones, friends, family, former members of our congregation that are sadly no longer with us in life. We think of them now as our eternal blessing. As a congregation, we are in a period of Shloshim with the recent passing of Bruce Allen Zach, son-in-law of our member Bonnie Hennig, and we continue to express our condolences to Bonnie and her daughter Sarah for Bruce's loss. We add as well the names of the following individuals whose yahrzeits occur this calendar week. They include Joseph Axelroth, Gershon Berman, Bernard Billis, Frank Birnbaum, Julius Conrad, Betty Klein Garland, Marilyn Beryl Gutmann, for Robert Kasmer, for Carl Kligman, for Emil Patrick, Raleigh Rothman, for Sarah Schechter and Alan Topper, for Edward Zold and Jack Zuckerman. If there are any others whom those with us this Shabbat are including in their own
Kaddish prayers, feel free, please, to add their name at this time. For George Hertzfeld. For Claudia Rinkoff. Then, as is the custom in our congregation, we rise in solidarity and support for one another as we join together in the words of Kaddish Yatom, the Mourner's Kaddish, on page 294. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon u'vyomechon u'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'galav v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shemei Rabbah mevorach le'olam u'lomei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, V'yit hadar, v'yit ale, v'yit halal, shemei dekudisha, b'richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, Bimru amen. Shalom bimroma, uyase shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. You may be seated. We welcome our treasurer, our officer, Sharon, to share this evening's announcements. Like a press conference.
That's scary. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I felt a little guilty printing a piece of paper today for the Green Shabbat, so I promise you I'm going to recycle this and all the other handouts today. So thank you for joining us this evening. We currently offer Shabbat services in person by reservation on Facebook Live and YouTube. Complete program and service information is in the weekly email, so check it out. It also gives you instructions on how to register for in-person, so please continue to do that. Next week's service is on Friday, August 20th. Services will be at 6 p.m. And on Saturday, August 21st, our service will be at 11 a.m. Sunday, August 15th, so that's in 2 days, the Hazon Annual Jewish Food Festival. This will take place at the Mary Grove Conservancy campus in Detroit. This year's event is a drive-through event with lots of entertainment, treats to eat, take-home activities, and more. It is from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. You must register, so please see the weekly email for more details. It is time for S'mores Shabbat. Join us on Friday, August 20th for one of our favorite annual events. Rabbi Roman will be joining us for this special event, so we hope you all come out. Please also pre-register so we know who is going to be attending. Get ready for a fun-filled Sunday morning when you can ride with the rabbi. On Sunday, August 22nd at 10 a.m., join Rabbi Gutmann on a bike ride. We will meet at the CVS on Orchard Lake Road and pick up the West Bloomfield Trail from that location. Please RSVP to the office so we know you're coming. On Tuesday, August 24th at 12 noon, join our own Jill Gutmann somewhere as she takes a deep dive into Jewish medical ethics. This class will be offered in person and online. Please complete the online COVID registration in order to attend. We have a lot of announcements today, so there's a lot of stuff going on. I hope you guys take notice. Join us on Monday, August 30th at 12 noon for Rabbi Gutmann's monthly class, Jews in the News, where he will discuss current events and trends from and about the Jewish world. This program will be held in person here at Temple. Please RSVP to attend. Save the date. The Relay for Life is coming soon. It's going to take place on Saturday, September 11th from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. at the Detroit Zoo. You also need to register for that, and there are more details to come. We are so happy that you all were here to join us this evening. We welcome your interest, questions, and contributions, as always, to helping our little temple with a big voice. Thank you, and Shabbat Shalom.
Yishkoch, certainly wishing you strength. Those were a lot of announcements there. I do want to just add a little gloss on one of them, which is that S'more Shabbat next week. Of course, the dinner that our religious school committee puts on is one of the main attractions. That is at 6 o'clock. The service itself will start sometime closer to 7, probably about 6:50. It's normally when we're full and we're ready to go. And it's a nice, wonderful, campy service, and we're so excited to have Rabbi Roman back with us now that he's here in Michigan again after a long year sequestering in Arizona. And I want to just say, gosh, shkoch to you, strength to you, Janet. Your beautiful smile, and you bringing us all of this music to inspire us. All of them, well, a lot of them, I hope you noticed, had a nature theme tonight, and it was just wonderfully thought through. Shkoach to our stream team. They're inside right now. We have tonight Josh and Alon helping us on our stream team to come to all of our online communities. So shkoach to them, to our staff, to our committees, the Social Action Committee and the Programming Committee that helped make tonight possible, and to all of you for making it such a beautiful service. Shkoach, really we wish you strength and a healthy week. Come back and join us next week. By the way, also, High Holy Day is not far away, and somehow it got missed in the announcement. The 28th is Slichot. The 28th of August is Slichot, which means that that we get, well, no chocolate this year, but we are in the High Holy Day season. We have a reprisal for our closing song, Adama V'Shamayim, at the top of your sheets. Adama V'Shamayim.
Hey ya, 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 ho. Hey ya, 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 ho. Hey ya, 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 hey. Hey ya, 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 ho. Hey ya, 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 ho. Hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey. Hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey. Adama v'shamayim, chom chaim, sil hamayim. אני מרגיש זאת בגופי, ברוחי ונשמתי. Hey ya, 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 ho. Hey ya, 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 ho. Hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey. Hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey. Adama v'shamayim, chom chaim, sil hamayim. אני מרגיש זאת בגופי, ברוחי ונשמתי. Hey ya, 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 oh. Hey ya, 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 oh. Hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey. Hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, oh.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
A note to everyone, I think there's more cider, I think there's more goodies. If you want to stay and schmooze, we'll schmooze until it's all gone, right? And we have more challah too.
Come get it.
Shabbat Shalom. Beautiful, really beautiful. Yeah, we can use a little help. We'll bring out the carts, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
There was like so much running.
So we know how to do it.
I think you're right though, 100%.
About what?
Well, you know how you said